iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. We continue working through our standings and looking at players who can help you in trades to help you win your fantasy baseball leagues. So, I'm going to talk about the AL West today. And of course, with the AL West, I'll talk about the Mike Trout injury. So I may go out of order today, and in fact, I'm going to do that. The Houston Astros are winning this division right now by 11 games. They are going to win this division. I don't think there's any question about that. But let's get to Mike Trout for a second. There is no replacing Mike Trout. He's expected to return around July 15th. You can bring in Ben Revere. You can bring in Paul Revere. You could bring in Crispus Attucks. You can bring in anybody else, General Cornwallis. You can bring in anybody else I can remember from the Revolutionary War. It's not going to make a bit of difference. You cannot lose Mike Trout and expect to compete this year. This is a very bad lineup. I mean, I look at this team, Martin Maldonado and Luis Valbuena and Danny Espinosa and Andrelton Simmons, and this is just putrid. I mean, I'm sitting here, if you said to me right now, would you pay me for season tickets for the Angels? I would absolutely respond, no chance. Not interested. Sorry about that, my friends. So with Mike Trout, sure, I'm interested. Without Mike Trout, I'm not interested at all. What can you do if you own Mike Trout at this point? If you own Mike Trout, first thing I would do is go to the top 2 or 3 teams in my league and see if one of them would want Mike Trout right now. And maybe I can get a 2-for-1 deal. So I'm just using, let's just say I could get Cole Calhoun and Matt Shoemaker for Trout. Would I do it? Ugh. I really wouldn't want to. But if my team was struggling to stay afloat and I thought I was in big trouble, I probably wouldn't make that deal, but I might make a deal like that. So maybe I'm taking I can't get Pujols, but I would ask for Pujols and Calhoun. I probably wouldn't get it, but that's what I'd ask for. Maybe Maben and Calhoun for Trout. I'm going to have to give up the best player in Trout, but the guy who's in first place is not going to want to give me his team. But the point is to say to him, hey, look, all you have to do is stay in first place for 6-7 weeks, and now you've got Mike Trout. That's a selling point. Me, I'm just looking for a couple of guys in Calhoun and Maben who might just get me through and, the rest of the year. So it's a gamble either way. There's really nobody on this team that I look at and I really like. I mean, Cameron Maben's been pretty good. So I can't knock that. I think that he's shown a little power, a lot of speed this year. We were expecting this from Maben back when he was 20 years old. We never really saw it. We had one or two really good seasons. So the speed is there. I like Ben Revere just a little bit. Ben Revere was a guy who, how many years ago was it? Maybe 2, 3? That he was a 300 hitter? And then all of a sudden he went from 300 to 217? I mean, come on. That doesn't happen. So I think if Revere plays every day, you'll see something from him. I might take a shot at Revere. I might take a shot at Maben. Cole Calhoun has to step it up. I guess I trade for him. I wouldn't feel good about it. The dude is not hitting either. So I don't really know. I look at this team, and there's nobody on this team that's really speaking to me. Shoemaker, I don't trust. He's been good, but really, is he that good? I don't think so. I think he's okay. I really love Cam Bedrosian, but he's not healthy yet either. This Buds for you, Norris, has been good, but he could lose his job at some point. So I look at the Angels, and I see this team as just an unmitigated train wreck. Okay? But that's what I do with Mike Trout. I try to trade him to one of the top teams in my league and get 2 players back for him. And that's how I'm going to try to, salvage this league. Because I can't go to the waiver wire and expect to win with Ben Revere. I just don't think I can win with Ben Revere. Maybe I get some stolen bases from Ben Revere, but that's all I get from Ben Revere. So it's like it's like looking for a steak and going to your shelf and you see like beef jerky. It's not a filet mignon. I opened the freezer or refrigerator. I was looking for filet mignon and I see beef jerky. Come on. Mike Trout, he's the bomb. Ben Revere, he gets bombed. I mean, that's what happens. So there you have it there. Okay, the Houston Astros. Who don't I want on this team? Seriously, who don't I want? Altuve? I mean, Altuve hasn't even, to me, been great yet this year. He's been good, hasn't been great yet. I want him. I'll trade for him right now. Alex Bregman is a guy I probably want to trade for right now. This guy has been very slow. Only 4 home runs, only 4 stolen bases, but he's 23 years old. So you want to give me Alex Bregman? I'll take Alex Bregman from you right now. Carlos Correa, I see a lot of tweets. Always, what do you think about Carlos Correa? I think he's 22. I think the dude's hitting 300. I think he's going to hit 25 to 30 home runs. I'd like to see 10 stolen bases. I really would. But I'm trading for Carlos Correa. I'm in on him. George Springer, the power's been there. The average really hasn't. The speed I think that we thought we were going to see in the minors really hasn't been there. But I think this guy is going to hit 30 home runs this year. So I'll take Springer as well. Josh Reddick, here's my best advice with Josh Reddick. Don't do it. Don't do it. As soon as you trade for Josh Reddick, he's going to get hurt. The day he's on your team, he gets hurt. So offensively, I want Altuve, I want Correa, I want Springer, and I probably want Bregman. Ulieski, Gurriel, no, I'm not really interested in him. No, not enough power. Dallas Keuchel, I'm in on. Dude is 8-0 with a 1.81 ERA and a .88 WHIP. I'm all over Dallas Keuchel. Nobody's going to trade you Keuchel, but I'll try to take him if I can. The guy who I think is interesting is Lance McCullers. So let me tell you this. This is very important. I want to trade McCullers, not trade for McCullers. If I trade for McCullers, it's only if I'm out of it this year. Lance McCullers has never thrown more than 125 innings. Ever. He's got 65 now. If I'm being aggressive, I think he throws 80 more innings. Okay? 80 more innings if I'm being aggressive. So right now, that's 2 more months tops. I think they could be shutting this guy down. If they don't, it's going to be shocking. The question is, they're going to have to make a trade because they know McCullers can't go deep in the season. Guys don't go from 80 innings to 200. This just don't happen. But Charlie Morton's out. Colin McHugh's out. Mike Fire sucks. Musgrove has been a disappointment. I mean, maybe Francis Martez comes up. I don't know, but I don't know. I think I might have to trade him. I think that they need Jose Quintana in the worst way. So I'm in on Keuchel. I'm not in on any other pitcher. And I'm trading McCullers because I don't think he can finish up for me. Ken Giles has been magnificent. Really has. I think he's developed into a top-end closer. No home runs this year in 20 innings, 25 strikeouts. I have zero problem with him. So pitching-wise, I want Giles and Keuchel. I want to move McCullers. I want Altuve, Bregman, Correa, and Springer. Okay? So we've covered the Angels and the Astros. Now it's time for the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers, to me, are a very strange team in that some guys are performing very well and some guys stink. Jonathan Lucroy has been an absolute disappointment for me. I would trade for him. He's too good a hitter to be this bad. So, yes, somebody probably has spent a lot of money on Lucroy, spent a high pick, very disappointed. This is the time you can get Lucroy. I'd be looking to trade for him. Mike Napoli, done a good job thus far. Somebody offered him a deal. I wasn't biting. The average isn't there. The runs aren't there. He's a one-category guy. I'm not interested. I am interested in Ronette Odor. Ronald Odor is a good player. There's no way this guy's finishing the year at 211 and 7 home runs. Please. Please. Love Ronald Odor. The dude's 23. So right there between LaCroix and Odor, I'm in. How about Adrian Beltre coming back off injury? Hasn't done anything yet, but I think people will be intrigued to see what he can do. I think he's a guy you can get. Elvis Andrus, 6 home runs, 12 stolen bases. This guy's finally fulfilling his potential. I would trade for Andrus for sure. No interest in DeShields for me. Carlos Gomez, no. Nomar Mazara, I like. I do. Dude's 22 years old. I'd like to see him hit a lefty a little better, but man, I think there's upside there. So I look at this team, and I see LaCroix, Odor, Beltre, Andrus, Mazara. I'm interested. All those guys are on my trade radar. Every last one of them. Pitching-wise, I really have... I want Yu Darvish if I'm winning this year, for sure, 100%. I'm in on him. But then the bullpen is kind of a mess. I guess I wouldn't trade for Matt Bush because he's 31, but he's been spectacular this year. But am I sure he's going to be the closer in a year? I don't know. So, people are always looking for anything they can find in a trade. I guess I trade for Bush, but I don't know. I'm not buying into it. I think I like Keone Keela more. He's 24. I think this guy's got really a great power arm. I think he walks too many guys. But I might be more apt to trade for Keela than Bush because Keela's a lot younger. And I don't know. I don't know if I trust Bush that much. So Darvish, yes. Keela, maybe. And those hitters we talked about. But the Rangers are 11 games out. I think the team that has really surprised me this year has been the Seattle Mariners. So many games out at this point. They're 13 games out. This was a team that I thought was close, but man, they're not close at all. I want no interest in Mike Zunino, no interest in Danny Valencia. I have a soft spot for Dan Vogelbach because I know the family and I know that he's going to be a good hitter. But right now, the guy cannot get hot in the minor leagues. But I think what they're going to have to do at some point is just bring him up and let him play every day and bite the bullet. That's what they're going to have to do. I always want to trade for Robbie Cano, don't you know? Right? I always want Robinson Cano. I mean, the guy is just money. I think the guy I'm trading for, too, is Kyle Seager, who has underperformed in a huge way this year. Only 4 home runs, only 16 runs scored. Hitting only 253, and this is a guy I had picked for 30 home runs. So I think the opportunity is there for him to improve. I'll be looking at Kyle Seager for sure. Jean Segura has done a very good job this year. Hitting 333, he's got home runs, he's got speed, he's young. So Cano, Seager, Segura, yes. Jared Dyson been a real disappointment. I know they didn't give a lot for him, but he can't really hit. He's stealing bases, but he's hitting 221. So I'm not interested there. I think the guy that I'm intrigued by is Mitch Haniger. Mitch Haniger is playing very well. Very, very well. That's a sneaky guy who I might trade for if I was dumping. I might take a look at what he could offer me because I would think that Mitch Haniger was sensational before he got injured. He was absolutely sensational before he got injured. 342, 4 home runs, 20 runs scored, 2 stolen bases. This lineup misses him. If I'm trying to win this year, I go for Nelly Cruz, right? Because he's old, and I'm not going to build on him next year, but I'm going to try to win with him this year. So I'm absolutely in on Nelson Cruz, 100%. Pitchers, I'll take James Paxton. I like James Paxton. He's going to come back for injury on Wednesday. He's going to pitch well. I do believe that. He pitched on May 2nd. That was the last time we saw him. So I expect him to come back. I do like him. And Edwin Diaz, I'm in. I promise you that I'm in. He's too young, too talented to be this crappy. So yeah, I want it. I'll take a shot on him in a trade. If somebody wants to offer me Edwin Diaz, I'll be interested. I'm not going to dump my team for him, but as a second player in a dump deal, sure. So I want Cano, Seager, Segura, Haniger, Cruz, Paxton, Diaz. Those are the guys that I'm looking at on the Seattle Mariners. And then finally, the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's, wow. So I'll look at this way. I think the A's are close to being a good team because they've got a lot of guys in the minor leagues who I do like. I love Franklin Barreto. I like Matt Olson. I like Matt Chapman. I do. I like all those guys. I think they're really good players. Take a look, hitting-wise. Stephen Vaught is interesting to me. I might trade for him. I think they may trade him, to be honest with you, because Bruce Maxwell's in the minor leagues, and he's been a pretty good hitter thus far. So I think that they're not abandoning him. Let me see Maxwell's numbers. I don't know if many of you know Bruce Maxwell, but he's 26, and in the minor leagues, he can hit. He can hit. So I think they can go Maxwell and Fegley quite easily and move Vaught. Yonder Alonso has been amazing this year. I mean, really a great story. I'm not going to trade for him. I'm not going to buy the hype, but I won't hate it. Like if you got Yonder Alonso and Edwin Diaz in a deal, I might like that deal. I really like Ryan Healy. Ryan Healy is a hitter. I mean, this guy's got a lot of Troy Glaus in him. Big, strong, home run hitting guy. You're not going to see a lot of speed, but maybe a better average than Glaus, but I like him. So here's what's going to happen. You know that Marcus Simeon's out. He'll be out back in a couple of weeks. Super 2 is going to come up, and Franklin Barreto is going to come up and play second base. Jed Lowry is going to get moved. Some team is going to take Lowry and going to be really happy with that. He's 33 years old. He's playing great. I mean, he's really showing himself worthy of being on a contender. Lowry is going to get moved. Barreto goes to second. Simeon goes to short, or maybe that's what I think there. And then they'll have Chad Pinder as the backup. That looks like the plan to me there. So Lowry's interesting depending on what team he ends up on. The only other hitter here that I'm interested in is Chris Davis because this guy can hit home runs. Not a lot of average at all, but certainly 16 home runs. I'm interested. I mean, we need power. We need power to win a fantasy league. So, I mean, he's the guy that can get me there. Pitching-wise, I want nobody in the bullpen, but there's 3 starters I want. 1, Sean Manaea. Yes, I really want this guy. You watch. His next few starts are going to be great. This guy was good in the second half last year. He's going to be good this year. I'm all in on Sean Manaea. I think he's a really good pitcher. Sonny Gray, I don't really like him, but his last couple of starts have been, last 4 starts, 1 earned run, 2, 3, 1, been pretty decent. I might keep my eye on Sonny Gray. He's only 27 years old. Maybe I get him thrown in a deal. And certainly Andrew Triggs, another young player who I think has shown that he's done a good job this year. I mean, he's a guy that you can count on in the middle of the rotation. I don't think he's as good as his numbers have shown us to be, but I still think that there's something there with Triggs. So Manaea, Gray, and Triggs, I'll make a trade for, no problem. I'll add that to Healy, who I really like. I love Chris Davis, and I love me some Franklin Barreto. If you guys don't know Franklin Barreto, please let me introduce you to him. He's hitting .309 in 188 bats. He's hitting .309, 5 home runs, 26 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. This is a future All-Star. Future All-Star. Okay? So, second half of the year, I'm all in. All in on Franklin Barreto. Okay? That's what I'm telling you. But right now, you know what I want you to be all in on? ScoutFantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO. Pay for 1 month. We'll get you 2 more for free. It's as simple as that. Be part of the Scout Army and go to playffwc.com. Right now, today, there will be drafts tonight at 9 p.m. You could also get into an online championship league. You can get into a draft and go league. There are many ways to be involved in what we're doing at Scout Fantasy. Please be a part of what we're doing. All right? So, appreciate you guys listening, but right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back tomorrow with the NL West. We'll break it down for you because that's how we roll on this podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. Greatly appreciate it as always. All right, guys, have a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!